Hello, it's Galen, design team member for Unity Stamp Company. Today I'm showing a winter card. It is a nighttime scene and specifically trying to create a night sky that's a winter night sky scene. And it's going to be set against the stamping by Unity. This wonderful red rubber stamp is called Alpine Wonderland, and it's a full A2 size stamp. I am using a sentiment from More Sparkle, Less Stress by Unity, and I'm using die cuts by My Creative Time. I have more stitched rectangular dies. I'm also using watercolor paper by Ken Oliver, and also I'm using Ken Oliver's Colorburst powders. I use Field Day, Blueberry, and Grape Jelly, and those are found in the My Favorite Things store. I have Versamark ink. I'm using a Waterwell palette for the watercolor. I have a Ranger craft mat, plastic craft mat, and a watercolor brush, and original Misty. I have Versamark ink that I stamp with onto the watercolor paper, and I heat emboss with white embossing powder and a heat tool, and that creates a really pretty tree scene and also snowflakes in the sky. And so I go ahead and heat set that and make sure it's dry, and then I die cut. In this case, I die cut after I stamped, so I place a waxed paper sheet in between the die and the watercolor paper, and then die cut it, and it comes out nice and clean, and it doesn't mess up the die and make it messy. It comes out real clean, and the embossing stays just fine. So I tap. I don't press on these bottles. I just tap out a tiny bit of powder into the well for each color. And so after that, I take a brush. In this case, I just took the brush and tapped it over the powder just to add a tiny bit of color into each well. And for the watercolor, I'm going to use an emboss resist technique. So I am going to cover the top area with water, and then I come in with the horizon color, which is going to be lighter than the sky. So the horizon color, I'm choosing a purple, and then for the sky, I use the blueberry. And I use even more color to move that watercolor around. And you just add some more color if you want. In this case, I do add a little more of the purple along the tree line. I want it to appear like a colorful sky, almost like the city is lighting up the bottom part of that horizon. And so with the heat embossing, the tree silhouette shows up. Now I'm going to move around the color all along the edges and into the trees just a bit. And I finished blending out the edges, and then I heat set that. Next, I come in and once that panel is all dry, I will come in with more water on the bottom part where the trees are. It's hard to tell from the video and the photos, but there is a tiny bit of watercolor paper that appears in between the heat embossing. So I just cover that area with water, and then I dab a little bit of that green watercolor, and I just wipe it over all of the tree area. It looks a little messy now, but that watercolor paper will capture any of the color. And then that is heat set, and any extra puddles I just dab with a little towel. And then I make sure that's dry before I add foam tape and place that onto the card base. I use a white card base. Now the sentiment panel is also with foam tape is going to be added to the front of that panel. And I just really like this scene. It's very peaceful to me. I hope you like this video, and I hope you share on Unity Show and Tell. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.